Hey, welcome to my first booktube. So today we're talking about A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, which is a modern retelling of Hades and Persephone. This is the first book. The second book is A Touch of Ruin. The third book is not coming out until April 2021. That one's A Touch of Malice. So the series is not done yet. So just an FYI, if you're one of those people who doesn't like to read incomplete series, this one's not done yet. So I'm in a few Facebook groups for books, obviously. And I kept seeing A Touch of Darkness come up, people talking about it. So I was like, well, why not? You know, like I'm waiting for September for A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire to come out. I'm waiting for, there's like 3 books that are coming out in September that I'm waiting on. So in the meantime, Kindle Unlimited, A Touch of Darkness, why not? So it's, I liked it. Like there's some weird reviews on Goodreads. Like you see a lot of 4 and 5 star, and then some like 2 and 3 star, just like, eh. I mean, there's like some corny moments. There are. But overall, I felt like it was a really good book. I couldn't put it down. And I have pretty high, I like to read, yes. But I do have pretty high standards. Like my top is Jennifer Armentrout, Sarah J. Maas, Cassandra Clare, Rochelle Mead. Those are my top 4, I guess. So everybody else is compared to those authors. And I feel like Scarlett St. Clair is not on that level, but she's close to that level. So I have my notes. So my first thought, because I had no clue. Like I don't like to read the synopsis beforehand. I know some people do and like to read the back of the book and stuff. No, honestly, like I go by reviews, I go by what I'm seeing on social media, and I go by, and it's terrible, but the cover. Sometimes all my Sarah J. Maas, the whole reason I started reading Sarah J. Maas is because I like the covers. Okay, so my first thought, this is legit, was my first thought was, oh, it's legit about Hades and Persephone. I thought it would be a play on the story. Like I thought it would be a Sally and Joe Bob, or those are terrible names, but I'm just saying, and it would be based off of Hades and Persephone. No, this is legit. Hades owns a nightclub, okay, and other businesses, and Persephone is a college student. So at some point in the world, there has been a war. The Greek gods have come down. So the Greek gods have come down from Olympia and are living amongst us mortals, okay? And now they have taken the 7 continents and put them back together in that, whatever, panacea it used to be called back before the continents were split. And so everything's renamed after old Greek cities, or still remaining Greek. So you got New Athens. So Persephone lives in New Athens, okay? So Persephone is the main character. That's also whose point of view it is Persephone. So Persephone is a journalism student at New Athens University, and she's in her senior year, and she's getting ready to graduate, and she gets this internship that she really wanted at the New Athens News because she wants to, she's not a very good goddess. She does not have any powers. And so she wants to try and blend in as a mortal. Because she doesn't have any power, she has to borrow magic from her mother, Demeter, Demeter, and to look like a mortal, because she's not one. So she goes out with her friends to Hades nightclub. She did not want to go because her mother specifically told her to not have anything to do with the gods. Right? And especially not Hades, because her mother knows what's going to happen. Okay. There is some smut for my people who are like, but is there smut? I feel like every time there's a book recommendation in one of my Facebook groups, somebody goes, but is there smut? Because if there's not smut, I don't want to read it. There is smut, but it's not until about 70% in. So, and I'm reading it on my Kindle, so I'm going by percentages, not book pages. So it's about 70% of the book before you get to the smut. Here are some of my favorite quotes. Okay, so one of them: respect could build an empire. Trust could make it unbreakable. Love would make it last forever. That's a pretty good quote, right? Here's my second favorite quote from the book. I don't need your forgiveness to live an unburdened life, and I most certainly will not beg for it. And I was like, don't get me wrong, there are some corny moments, but I liked this book. I kind of feel defensive after reading some of the Goodreads reviews. There are some corny moments, some eye roll moments, but the sexual tension is really good. I really like the chemistry between Hades and Persephone. So here was my weird thing. I don't know if you guys watched the new Clash of the Titans and stuff, and it's just, you always picture Hades and Zeus, right, as these older guys, right? And so it's kind of like, I feel like you kind of have to have a silver fox thing to find. It's hard to picture Hades as like this Barons or Reese kind of character. When I think of a distinguished man who's like a sex god, I think of Barons or Reese. I'm thinking about Reese. Okay. So it was kind of hard for me to picture Hades as sexy man. But how much Persephone is attracted to him, and the things that he says and the things that he does just sells it. So I would say if you have Kindle Unlimited, or even if you don't and the book is not that expensive, you should totally check out A Touch of Darkness. It is definitely worth the read if you want to wait till April 2021 so that you will have a complete series. I totally understand it. So I'm gonna this is like the warning, right? The stop now, turn back, go read the book, because this is going to be a synopsis. And so if you're one of those people, I'm one of those people, I don't like spoilers. I don't want to know what happened. But I'm also in Facebook groups, and sometimes we discuss books, and it's been a hot minute since I read the book and don't exactly remember what happened. And so I want a synopsis that I can watch or read or whatever and refresh my memory for the book group chat. So I'm going to tell you what happens, and this is your chance to call it. Be like, we'll see you next time, Kim, because I'm getting ready to tell you what happens in the book. Okay. So, like I said, Persephone, right, is a journalism student. She gets this internship at the New Athens News. She hears all these horrible stories about Hades and how he gambles with human beings, right, and takes their souls, and he's just this horrible god, right? And so when she didn't want to have anything to do with him, and her mother has conditioned her that she's not supposed to have anything to do with Hades, and how horrible he is. So, but his nightclub's like the hot spot, right, in Athens, in the New Athens, where they live. So her friend, since she gets the opportunity to go, is like dying to go. So they go, and of course, what happens? Persephone ends up upstairs where the gambling happens and people betting their souls. She sees this tall, sexy man. She sees him from downstairs, but she sees this tall, sexy man who's like bigger than everybody else, and he just exudes sex and darkness and all that stuff. And she invites him to sit with her at her gambling table. First of all, okay. Don't sit down at no gambling table in the casino and you don't know what game you playing, because this chick don't know what game she's playing. But she's like, oh, you could teach me how to play. And Hades is like, oh yeah, I'll teach you. Well, she unwittingly enters into this bargain with Hades, right? Because he taught her how to play. And so now she owes him. So she has to go into the underworld, hell, every day. And he gives her this impossible task of she has to create life in the underworld. And if she does not, then she'll be stuck in the underworld forever. So here she thinks she's in this horrible bargain with Hades. And what happens is she comes to love the underworld, the people of the underworld, right? And she begins falling in love with Hades. And she still thinks like, you know, I'm not going to be able to complete this task. Again, she's like a goddess, but she doesn't have any powers. And so come to find out, the reason she doesn't have any powers is because of the way her mother raised her, and Hades helps her fix that. And so things commence with Hades, and it all ends up very happily for all of those involved. Let's put it that way. It's a happy ending. And I feel like Persephone grows, right? She grows as a person, she grows as a character. And I love that in books. I love when I can see a character grow, change, whatever. So anyway, yeah, that's it. A Touch of Darkness. I loved it. I hope you guys love it. And I'll see you next time.